Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Just 2 days out from the start of the World Championship for CDL 2021, all of our questions and concerns seem now to have been resolved, just in the nick of time from an OpTic Chicago perspective. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, thought this is pretty entertaining from Hex. Good morning, as is tradition. I'm always strapped and ready to fill in if required. If anything was to continue happening with OpTic, they needed an emergency substitute. Hex with his trusty MP5 that he likes to use in game puzzles would have been there ready to go. But yeah, maybe the spawn knowledge not exactly where it needed to be. But thankfully that will not be a concern that their SMGs will have to get swapped out. As Envoy says earlier in the day, something to prove, so all of a sudden it's like, okay, what's going on here? Like, is he back in business? Like, it's so tough to say. These last several days since Scump and Envoy tested positive, it's been really a race against time. Can they test negative in time to get out to the event and get out to the venue and actually be allowed to compete? Because that is, of course, the concern. We discussed yesterday, the fact of the matter is, like, whatever the regulations are in place right now, like if you test positive you can't compete. Even if you've actually had the thing, you've completely recovered, you might not be contagious anymore but still coming up positive on the test, which can tend to happen, then still it didn't seem like you'd be able to compete. So obviously everyone in the scene was hoping these guys would test negative, because at the end of the day you don't want and obviously your biggest team in terms of fan base, but also a team that could be very competitive this event, that's been practicing this entire year to have a chance to play at the World Championship and prove and win the big one once again. Because of course OpTic this year are actually the only team in the top 6. So in the top 6 teams, you've got Atlanta FaZe, you've got Toronto Ultra, Huke, Subliners, Dallas, Empire, Minnesota, Rokkr, and OpTic Chicago. They're the only team out of those 6 that hasn't made a grand finals this year. Pretty interesting statistic. Of course, they want the opportunity to do so with their actual proper starting team, and they've been looking improved as of late. Stage 5 was their best stage this entire season, especially for the SMG duo of Scump and Envoy. They were looking pretty spectacular, and them not competing would have been a travesty. Thankfully, that does not seem to be the case anymore. By no means guaranteed though, because of course the issue is, like, we don't know that you get to the event and then things go positive at the event. I think Scump said on stream that maybe 90-95% chance that everything is going to be okay, but still not necessarily guaranteed. Then again, not guaranteed for any team right now, depending on what happens in the flight out to Los Angeles. But everyone has been flying out there for champs, flying for the first time since Atlanta last year. It feels like it's been forever, says Sender. So he gets out to Los Angeles for the event that's happening in just a couple of days' time at this point. We also get this, I'm pretty sure it was Priestahh, who says, yeah, landed in LA. I thought I saw a tweet from Slasher as well, because of course he loves it over there in California, but has been moving back and forth. I mean, obviously Texas now with Los Angeles Thieves, because the internet is of course a bit of an issue when you're in LA, as he experienced to full effects last year. And then, landed in LA, says Priestahh right here, so rebooting, ready to go. I mean, Hydra hits the replies, and yeah, Paco's at first champs. We got to take a first F school picture on Thursday, so pretty crazy to think about. I'm sure, a long and illustrious career ahead of Hydra, whether that's with Priestahh on the sublanders next season though, who really knows. This probably a lot depends on so many of these teams, depending on how they perform at champs, which only could be a couple of series. So very important stuff, of course, coming in just a couple of days time. But yes, this came out from Scump, of course. Yesterday, extra push with TSC tonight, and Scump's did some tweets on the timeline looking a little bit more positive maybe, and certainly as soon as he started turning on the stream and there was some talk about an announcement, as Hex says right here, all of a sudden people are thinking, okay, alright, here we go. It's some sort of positive announcement from Scump and the guys that everything is indeed going to be okay. That is how it seems. This is the clip that Scump comes out with yesterday on his stream as soon as it starts off, saying yes, Thursday's going to be a fun time, no doubt. And him and Envoy both tested negative when they did the tests yesterday. Everything seems to be okay for these guys. They're catching a flight today at like 10:30 a.m. or something their time to get out to Los Angeles a little bit later than the rest of their team, but they'll be out there just in time. And if everything goes okay on Thursday in terms of getting all the tests cleared negative and stuff, they will be good to compete at the World Championship with the roster that they want to compete with.
We had 2 more tests today. We got both the nose and the oral test, same as yesterday. And I think I think Thursday is gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fucking fun, man. Yeah, we're negative. We're negative. We came back negative. Thank God. Yo, we're good. We're good. Big dubs in the chat. Big dubs. So now what happens? We fly out tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. and everything goes back to normal. Oh man, it's been a stressful freaking week, bros. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness gracious. It has been a stressful week. Yo.
So Envoy, of course, pretty happy about it when the test came back negative. Envoy and Scump having a good time right here. So, of course, look, all these teams right now, things could still happen. Things could still change. That's why the players have got to be super careful at the event. And I do wonder if there could have ever been, like, some exception anyway. Just because, like, I remember back in the Black Ops 2 Champs days, I'm not exactly sure what the story was here, but you were meant to be 18 to attend Black Ops 2 Champs. And, of course, back then, like, it was a bit different to, like, the official CDL and the regulations and the protocols in effect. But back in Black Ops 2 Champs, Scump was only 17, and yet, like, because he was the biggest player in the sea, like, his YouTube was already popping, like, and he was on OpTic, they wanted him to compete, so they found a way. I don't know how they found the way exactly, but they found a way to still let him compete, even though he was 17, and, you know, I don't know, like, in a similar situation like this, if Scump's testing negative, could the CDL find some sort of exception clause or something, given, you know, he's had it fully recovered, not contagious anymore, to still let him compete anyway, even if he wasn't negative? So I don't really know, but still, this is great news. The guys are out there, that, well, they're going to get out there today, and they'll be joining the rest of their team. What I do wonder is, has this affected their practice to any degree? Like, it's possible that these last few days, I mean, Scump's been talking about how stressful these last few days have been. It's maybe been tough to concentrate on practice fully as much as you would have liked to if you didn't have to deal with these issues. So maybe that's affected them to some degree. Of course, they're going to get out there now a couple of days to practice in a LAN environment with some of these other squads. So I'm sure things are going to be okay, but every team is kind of reaching that point right now where, okay, you're trying to get as good as you possibly can. And OpTic, I'm sure, have been doing so the last couple of days, I mean, the extra push, as Scump and Co have been discussing, but still, they're not going to have an easy matchup by any means, because there's New York subliners with Clayster and Hydra and Deceive, of course, and Mac that we looked at just a couple of seconds ago, have apparently been also looking particularly good in their scrims. So I think it's going to be a pretty blockbuster match, to be honest. The loser of that plays Florida in the lower side. The winner of that goes on to play Atlanta FaZe. So, you know, Champs is still a gauntlet regardless. I mean, obviously nowadays, you don't have the 32 team bracket gauntlet that you used to have at the start of the tourney, and then it would go down to a 16 team double elimination bracket for the rest of it. Nowadays, the seeding obviously plays much more of an important factor, but still, if you want to win the thing, you're certainly going to have to have earned it, right, beating a lot of top tier squads. And it's great to see that OpTic are actually going to have their full strength team there in full effect, because they've been looking better and better as of late, and this could be their opportunity, as I said earlier in the video, to finally get over the line. Thought this was interesting, right, from Envoy's dad right here, getting Dylan's health news on Seth's stream. So Scump initially kind of, he did like imply initially that it was like, you know, he was okay, and also Envoy was okay, but he did go on to explicitly state it later that yes, both Envoy and himself tested negative yesterday, so all looking good in the OpTic camp, no doubt about that one. Of course, that doesn't therefore mean that Karma will not be required to sub into the team as we potentially looked at yesterday. Do you think this was kind of interesting from Karma, right, when he was talking about the gunsmith, right, in the game? We mentioned this actually, right, with all the attachments, and talking about pick 10 and how that was so superior. And yeah, Karma also goes on to say this: hate to live in the past, but why haven't Black Ops 2 perks and slots stuck throughout? The 1, 2, 3 and options were so good, they could still add any of these crazy pub perks every single year with no issues. Never understood why they don't go down that route anymore. But yeah, for whatever reason, they love to have you chucking so many attachments on your weapons. The Pick 10 system was just so much fun back in the day. When that was initially introduced, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because before that, in Black Ops 1, for example, you would literally choose your gun, you choose one attachment you got to put on it. If you had Warlord perk on, you could choose 2 attachments. And then you just chose like 1 perk from each slot. And Pick 10 was such a revolution in terms of the way it worked. And maybe a great balance between you know, crazy customization, but also meaning that you can get some good balance in terms of what perks counter each other and which perks are in which tiers. But nowadays, it seems like things haven't necessarily gone down that route anymore. I hope that this time Sledgehammer doesn't bring back divisions from World War II, because even though right at the end of that year when they made the divisions update, it actually wasn't too bad. But still, maybe not the best way to have perks and attachment combinations, right? Maybe people miss divisions, I don't really know, for the World War II era. It's nice for them to try new things, right? Like the innovation and trying that type of stuff is cool, but you got to know when to stick with something that works, I think. But I guess at the same time, if you don't stick with it, well, if you do stick with something that people know, then yeah, people complain about no originality and stuff like that as well, right? Kind of like when people bring back Raid and then people complain that you know, they're not bringing new maps into the game. But who knows what happens this time? I'm looking forward to seeing some great Champs action on some great maps in Call of Duty history. And as LA Thieves say, it's Champs week. It is officially time. They're going to be starting in the lower bracket. It's not going to be easy for them by any means. This is how it's going to go for the weekend then. So this is well, the calendar that they bring into play. And well, these are the matches. So on the Thursday, it's Rokkr versus Empire. It's New York versus OpTic Chicago. Full strength teams in full force. We love to see it. Thieves are going to play the loser of the first series. Mutineers are going to play the loser of the second series. That's all happening on Thursday. Then on Friday, we get the winners bracket matches continued. Then the lower bracket gauntlet continues. So, you know, they've got the TBD right here. They didn't really indicate which teams it could potentially be, or at least, you know, they could say like loser of game, whatever. But still, this is how it's going to be going. There's these amount of matches on the weekend. The Sunday is just the championship match as it was last weekend. So big celebration of Call of Duty, hopefully on the championship Sunday in a LAN environment in front of fans. Yeah, we truly do love to see it. Who will be those two teams that make it all the way? Probably something we will continue to discuss in the coming days. And just to finish off with this, that Chrome points out from the 2019 Call of Duty World Championship on Black Ops 4, a fan favourite, no doubt. This is well, the clip. I'll rewind to the start right here. OpTic Gaming versus Enigma 6 on this Seaside Hardpoint. This is when Dashy pops that pretty incredible 5-piece. Definitely a very well, legendary and memorable moment in Call of Duty history. It's to be honest though, I think that the clip that follows it up, just like a minute later, is even more impressive because like every single guy he kills right here is one shot. But I'm pretty sure like Bance also got this, but we didn't see any of it on screen. Back like last year it was like Hackney Yard Domination or Hardpoint or something. The Bance got the same thing. But this, if anything, is more impressive, right? From TJ comes into this P4 and just destroys the entire Enigma 6 team again and again and again. Hopefully many more incredible moments like this just around the corner at the World Championship. And intriguing your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset that you are good to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care and I will see you next time.
He gets the party side up there in the rec room. He gets one, but not able to get the second. Karma on the right. He will drop to Kismet. Dashy though is up next. As E6 are making this push work out, but again, the spawners for OpTic are so close. That top courtyard to the left of them. And they're in through the front line. Dashy! It's all 5 for Dashy! As he can, hoping for streaks.
Nice trophy as well there. Combined with TJ's War Machine, he's going to be this perfect entrance. Finds one, finds the second, finds the third. TJ! He's got to find TJ! Oh my goodness, TJ! Oh my word! What is this game?
Give him number 7. Champs demands it. 20 points now for the win.